By the way, when they say power should shift to the north, the average Fulani man believes that power should shift to the Fulani. But they use the narrative not as a deceptive inclusivity to pretend that they include the rest of the north, when in truth, it is all about the Fulani dominance in the north. But I still remember his choice of words that if power does not shift to the north, the dogs and the baboons will be soaked in blood. You know, Nigerians were very good at forgetting things. Now, let's not quickly forget how Tinubu came into power. Tinubu came with a sense of entitlement that it's the turn of the Yorubas. And if it is the turn of the Yorubas, it is the turn of Tinubu himself, because for some reason, he represents the Yorubas. Okay. Now, in order to do that, he had to navigate through the clouds of religion and tribe. He is a Muslim from the southwest. Now, whether we like to believe it or not, the only Muslims the North recognize as true Muslims are Muslims from the North. Any other Muslims, whether you are Yoruba Muslim, Igbo Muslims, Middle Belt Muslims, even the Hausa Muslims are regarded as second-class Muslims, and by virtue of that, they are second-class citizens. In fact, the only reason why we are even talking about non-Muslims presidency is because of how God made Jonathan to become president. Otherwise, it would be a mere mirage for a Christian to ever become president in this country. But then, let's not rush, let's not jump the gun. Let's create a preamble and then build on those preambles so that we can actually see what is going on. You see, Tinubu knew he had to cut across the barrier of religion and tribe. He didn't have a problem with tribe because the tribalism in the southwest can easily be switched on when he bring our local. That one took care of the southwest. But how will he penetrate the religious barrier in the north? He had to pick another Muslim. But if he picks another Muslim, how is he going to pacify Christians in Nigeria? Don't forget, the population of Christians are more than the population of Muslims in Nigeria. Most Muslims in the north will want to disagree, but Christians are more in population in Nigeria than the Muslims in Nigeria. But they would want to disagree. So, but that's not the essence of this video. So the whole idea of saying that now the only reason why Tinubu was able to cut through the Christian community in Nigeria was because in the first place, we don't even have a realistic Christian community in Nigeria. Yes, I said it. We don't have a realistic Christian population in Nigeria. That was why when they brought fake bishops to pretend that they've endorsed Tinubu, what were the real bishops, or what did the real bishops do? Nothing. The so-called men of God, they are the GOs, and what they said nothing. They pretended they didn't see that a man desecrated Christianity in Nigeria by bringing touts and charlatans and Obioma Pachpach to adorn robes of priests, and pretended that during his nomination, or his choice of APC candidacy, bishops and top-ranking Christian members, endorsed him. Nothing happened. While they were doing that, because Christianity in Nigeria, the community of Christians in Nigeria are the most docile. We know it's bad, but we can't say anything. Very docile, because we have most of the people that are, particularly Pentecostalism, that are in charge of churches, they are mindful of what they say so that it doesn't affect their business empires. Their business empires. Okay. Now, eventually the elections came. He is sworn in. He's now the president. Okay. To an average Muslim man that had always wanted Nigeria to become an Islamic state, this perhaps would be an opportunity. After Tinubu, it finally comes to Shetima, who is a true Muslim, and forget all the comments he said that he's not an extremist. Now, this is an opportunity for Nigeria to become a truly Islamic state. Now, one thing that the northern cabal didn't, perhaps they knew, but they didn't believe it's going to be like that, is the fact that the only religion the Yoruba man understands is tribe. It's never Muslim or Christianity. I don't think any Yoruba man takes Christianity or Islam that serious as the North. The North truly, you know, the culture of the North is religion. Even the Hausa man, his culture and tradition has been stolen away and replaced by religion, by Islam. So most of them see Islam as a way of life. When they say total submission, it is actually practiced here in the North. That's why they will do everything, even if it means to pay the ultimate price or take the ultimate price. They will do anything to protect the religion. Without the religion, the North, the core North, has no identity. Identity, according to... Anyway, has no identity. Okay. Now, let me use it in the language that you understand. They can't look Tinubu to one corner eye, one corner eye. Can't they see, say, this man is not doing what we expect for an Islamic country to begin to look like. Well, we have silenced the Christians. We can virtually do everything that we want to do, but this man is not. This is why we voted the Muslim ticket. This is not what we expect. You forget that an average Yoruba man, his religion is his tribe. Now, Tinubu came in, and first and foremost, I understand that DSS, he's trying to, he has already brought in the third deputy director, who is a Yoruba man. Our military, one thing I hate about discussing with people who say that, well, because this man did it, therefore I can do it. We claim to be more educated than the North, yet we justify our ineptitudes with what your predecessor has done. At the end of the day, what really suffers is the country. Now, I live in a suburb. This house is in a suburb. I'm surrounded by, where I'm staying now, I want you to take me literally. Where I'm staying, I'm surrounded by mud houses, very low income earners. Trust me when I tell you that every morning, as soon as I opened my door, I will get about 3 or 4 people waiting for me to wake up because they want to beg for food. Even if it's just 1 mudu of gari. So what I do every day is at least I buy 3 or 4 mudu of gari and keep in the house. If I have money to give, I give. If I don't, I say, as I'm talking to you now, I have about 4 measures of gari that I've tied in leather. So that, because I have this type of, you may believe me or don't or not, I have this sympathetic spirit. I have this sympathetic spirit that it takes a bold heart to go and meet somebody with a hungry, give us food. There's one guy that used to do presentation in Yoruba in that time that I had Obidati online campaign TV. He does a program in Yoruba. Eventually, when they swore Tinubu in, he was one who first came and said, let us support Tinubu, at least he's our brother. I said, I don't do this our brother nonsense thing. Eventually, he's always here coming to say they are hungry. Please help me with money. I still give if I have. So now Tinubu is somehow Yorubanizing, if there's a word like that, Yorubanizing his administration. And trust me, the North will be quick to notice it. Now, this tax reform, I see some Southerners celebrating it. And I see the Northerners fighting against it. And because for the first time, we see Northerners crying over what a Southern politicians have done, even though I know that most of the Yorubas don't see themselves as Southerners. They prefer to be known as Southwesterners. They have never seen us, Southwest and Southeast and South-South. They've never seen that psychological camaraderie existing about us. They don't fight for it. It's only us. That I say. Please, if you watch me, do not be offended when I say things like this. I hate to pretend. I don't know how to pretend. So please forgive me if I say it the way I see it, the way it appears. I do not like to adulterate narratives to please my listeners. I want to say it the way it is. You get me? Now, the tax reforms of people are saying, tax of beer, you destroy beer, but you want beer from... Look, I am not a fan of the tax reform. The tax reform and the attendant debate or argument of the eligibility of the tax reform they're all distractions. They're all pure distractions. What I strong, if not that Tinubu came into governance the way he did, and somebody who believed that the only way you can get to power is by grabbing, snatching, and running away, which suggests that you have to be corrupt or you cannot follow due process to achieve something, or the end justifies the means. Such a person can never be my idol. For once, I've said it over. I've never liked him. I don't like him. And I think it's my prerogative to like someone. I don't like him at all. I have zero tolerance for people with shady character. I do not surround myself with people of criminal texture. I don't. If I have money, I have. If I don't have, I don't have. The worst I would do is to meet somebody and say, Bobs, I no get money, you fit help me at the hungry wafa. Things hard wafa. But I will not allow my economic challenges to put an idea in me to resort to criminalities. I don't do that. So for some people who think that criminalizing the pathways of becoming president or criminalizing the pathways of winning political election is politics, you describe everything as politics. No, politics is not the criminalization of the process. Politics an election is a way agreed by contestants to choose the best from us or to choose what the people want. The moment a system overrides the will of the people, then we are precipitating a pathway to anarchy. How do you explain in the last election, there was an old woman who could barely walk. She sat down and said, "My son, come. I won't vote. See my voter's card. I don't know where I could go vote." I said, "Madam, because of you, I'll take you to go and vote." I put her in my car and drove her to her polling unit. And her polling unit was one very remote place that I had to jump rocks and all that. And I took her there. She voted. Then after all the exercise, all the period that people stayed in the sun, some even stayed up till late in the night, suffering. For me, we cook some food, rice and beans. Because our polling unit is somewhere far away from where we formerly stayed in Jos. We had to go there and waited and vote. Only for some people to now use a pen and decide who to give what number and declare based on the fake numbers who won election. That is not a country that is prepared to progress. And if you are part of a population that say, okay, because this man is my brother and has succeeded in manipulating a system that resulted in Yorubas producing a president, if that is the way your mind thinks, or if that is the way your mind think, then I think we have a long way to go in building a nation. We have a very, very long way to go. I am not taken in by tribalism. Trust me, if an honorable man becomes a president and has nothing to offer, I will be the first person to go out and say, this man is a failure. And if there's anything I like about the Igbos, this is what I like about them. They don't, some people say, Igbos do tribalism. Yes, tribalism exists everywhere. But that of the Southwest is on another level. And the fact that you cannot know that this tribalism is backwardness. For me, people who engage in tribalism is pure tribal or ethnic inferiority. It's just inferiority complex. Period. Nothing more. You believe it's not, if it's not your tribesman, then you don't have a president. This is one of the reasons why the Southwest worked assiduously against Jonathan, making sure that Jonathan never succeeded. Bringing out news that one of the reasons why I've never supported Sowore, I will never support Sowore. Let him do anything. Because Sowore's, what's that, his blog, Sahara Reporters, was one of the foremost instruments used to paint Goodluck Jonathan bad. There was one of my friends who we graduated together. He was so believed that Jonathan is corrupt. If you believed, I heard even now they're still making the narrative that Goodluck Jonathan, when corruption got to his when corruption got to its unprecedented high. Up till now, you're still selling that narrative. If Goodluck Jonathan's time we had corruption at its unprecedented high, what would you say now? What would you say now? Now, the type of corruption we have now are the type of corruption that it has. The type of corruption we have now is corruption that has been dressed and painted to look beautiful. We have beautiful corruption that we admire. Oh, this guy, just see my friend is into Yahoo. Say, hey babe, how far? What do you do? Well, I'm into Yahoo. We've come to an era where criminality now looks beautiful. We've dressed criminality in such a way that it is now appealing. It is no longer a thing to be ashamed of. Our young ones are now more interested in making money than in building their innate capabilities. So when you see news on social media or other forms of medium saying that a young man was caught with the head of his girlfriend in a bag, or somebody unalive his girlfriend for rituals, what do you expect? What do you expect? You see, some of you living abroad,